Welcome back to the program. Today we got Gerald Harris. He's fighting Aaron Cobb, come up here on Legacy Fighting Championship 63, December 2nd, at the Joint in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right where he's from. But most of you don't know who Gerald is because he's been off the scene for 3 years. So during the explosion of MMA, Gerald kind of wasn't around. You fought August 2013 against Jorge Santiago. What happened?
You know what? It was my life in general. A lot of people say, why did I retire? A lot of people don't know. I was a teacher. I do comedy. Been doing stand-up comedy since 2000. Actually, since 1999, so almost 16 years of comedy. I owned a gym, and I was fighting. I was doing all that at the same time. I quit teaching to fight, so I wasn't teaching, but I was going through a divorce, man, for 3 years. Literally, it started in 2011, didn't end till 2015. So it was a total of 5 years with separation, but the legal process was probably 3 to 4 years, man. And if anybody, we had 3 kids together. If anybody knows about a divorce, that's one of the most stressful things you can go through as a man, especially with your children. So 2013, it hit its peak. I had my children taken away from me in 2013 because of a false text. And then it took 3 years to prove that text wrong. I mean, that sounds crazy, but it's just things that happen, in divorce, people. Well, no, I can't. Legally, it's over, and we're friends now. But the text basically was a half of a text where I said that she could have the kids, but I never said she could have them. It was saying, hey, she wanted to move out of town. And I said, you can move out of town if we're divorced and we come to some kind of agreement. And I was saying, but they only showed half the text. So being that it wasn't a trial, I had to wait until trial, which took 3 years to get a trial, man. 3 years. I was in court every 2 months with status conferences. And in status conferences, the only thing you can do is say yes, sir, or no, sir. You cannot testify.
That's crazy. And let's not forget the money that goes, because every time you got to go to court, you got to pay your attorney, all that travel time.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that expensive, honestly. I still owe my lawyer about $2,000. It was more stressful than anything. Oklahoma's a cheap place to live. But the fact that my kids, and I'm with my kids 24/7. I've taught all my children how to walk. I take them to school. I pick them up. I'm that super dad, Even if I'm in fight camp, I do all that. I take my kid to all his wrestling tournaments, and to have them taken away, not in a bad way, it was just that text I sent, and only half of it was shown, and it was a big mix up, man. I was hurt, and it was a big misunderstanding between me and her, but we're really cool now. I got a new wife, and my new wife and my ex-wife get along great. She's doing good, and man, life is good. It's good. They ain't friends. I'm just saying, they're not hanging out. But literally, if anybody out there listening has been through a divorce with children, it is the most stressful thing you can do in your life. And I got through that. And as soon as I got through that, I would say 6 months later, I literally met like the best woman of my life. She cooks all my meals. She runs my gym. Her mom and my mom are best friends, and we never knew it. Like, this woman changed my life. And I don't want to sound soft, but she's the one that motivated me to get back into fighting.
That's not soft. That's having a good support group. There's a lot of books out there about athletes talking about the one thing that holds a real athlete back is the partner.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a date, or it could be your best friend. You just need somebody there. It could be your mom. My mom is cool. My mom lives in Arizona, though. But I didn't have anybody that had my back like that. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to take care of themselves. And this woman literally, she's like a backpack, man. Like, wherever I go, she's there. And I asked her, I started working out because my wife was 28. I'm 30, I'm 37. So I had to get back in shape. So I started getting back in shape by helping guys train for fights. And everybody kept going, dude, you still got it. And I'm like, don't give me that. Don't hype me up. You know what I'm saying? And I asked her, and she said, yeah, baby, go ahead. I went from 220 to 190 in 3 months.
Wow. Look at you.
220 is the biggest I've ever been. And that's cheeseburgers and sex, pretty much.
Yeah. And of course, this fight's at 170, right?
It is, but you know what? He called about a month ago and said he can't make 170. I was a little disappointed because he's the one that called me out. And he's like, I can't make 170. I haven't fought. He hasn't fought in 3 years either. I was like, all right. He said 185. I said, no, we're not middleweights. We're going 180, which is fair. And you know, as a wrestler, we know every pound counts. So 180 is fair.
And that's what it's going to be a catch rate of 180 then. And so you did say, what, 37, 38?
I just turned 37 last Saturday, man.
Okay. So how much long, you know, you've been gone for 3 years. Like that isn't prime time for you to be fighting.
I didn't do nothing, man. I probably worked out once or twice. My last fight, I was scheduled to fight Jake Shields. And no, I signed the contract to fight Rusmer Paul Harris for World Series of Fighting, but he didn't want to fight me. He wanted a title shot. So I was super pissed off about that. But he got the title shot, and I was just like, man, just let me go. So they released me because that was the third fight where I got canceled. I had Paul Harris. I had signed for Paul Harris, Jake Shields, or Fitch, and some other guy in Canada, Ford or something. And all three of the fights got dropped. So I was like, World Series, just let me go. And I retired, you know. Not on bad terms, though. They gave me some money to get by. And I didn't, you know, I was done. With the divorce, too, mentally, I was done.
Yeah, for sure. No, I get it. So, obviously, you missed it. You found the right partner to get you back into it. So,
yes.
How has this train camp been? You're helping other guys get ready for fights, but now you got to get ready. How's it been for you?
Man, you know what? I know this sounds crazy. I don't know how your training went, but I kind of stopped doing training camps. I definitely changed it up towards the last 2 weeks as far as, you know, not doing too much. But I stay in shape, Frank. I don't stop training when I get back into it because I've taken my first fight at 170. I've always been a small middleweight. I've always weighed about 90, 92. My first UFC fight, I had a 2 for 20 by myself. I'll never forget it. The guys were going crazy because I was about 190, you know. And my first 170-pound fight, I took on 6-day notice. And I haven't been 170 since college. And I stay in shape, though. They called me, you know, and I was like, I'm ready. Let's go. So I just train. I never stop training. But I do not overtrain. So I've been training, like I told you, since April. I've just been working out. First, I started off with hitting the bags and running, and then I started sparring and rolling. I got back in the groove. Oh, my God. When I started hitting pads and sparring again, it was bad, man. I felt like I was riding a bike, you know, for the first time.
So how's the comedy circuit? Is it you still on it or what's happening? You put it on hold?
Oh, man. I did a Facebook show. I did my birthday show every year. Last year I had 700 people at my birthday comedy show. Mind you, this is Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is like a small town. Last week I had a birthday comedy show, sold out in hours. I mean, it was packed. I put it on Facebook Live and thousands of viewers, and man, it was so cool. People really underestimate my comedy. I never brag about it, but when people come see me, they go, "Oh my God, I did not know you were that funny." I've been doing it forever. I love it. It's a science, just like anything, like sports. There's a science to comedy, man. And I absolutely, if you see me on stage, Frank, one day, I promise you, man, you'll have a good time.
Well, I do a lot of men's health seminars, and one of the clinics I work for is Universal Men's Clinic. They have an office actually in Tulsa. I was in Tulsa probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I come back through. Next time I come through, I'll hit you up, and hopefully you got a comedy show going at the same time I'm out there.
All I got to do is text the comedy club and say, "Let me get 5 minutes." They be like, "Oh yeah, Looney Bin Comedy Club." Shout out to them. They support my career like crazy. If you come in town, I'll say, "Hey, my friend's in town. Let me get 5 minutes." They be like, "All right." And I'm gonna kill it, man.
For sure, it's gonna happen. I love comedy shows. I would love to be. I don't have the science. But I would love that. Like, I would love to be a stand-up guy. Like, I would love to do that. I just don't have the science of it. You know, you look at guys like Joe Rogan and like Adam Hunter and those guys. Like, they're amazing at what they do. Yeah. You can't catch it. I don't have that skill.
Well, the scary thing about comedy is people don't understand it's instant judgment. You know, it's instant. Like, literally, like your joke. You have to be on point. Boom, 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 nonstop. You know, in your style, what is your style? Are you energetic? Do you tell stories like Kevin Hart? You know, Adam Hunter's a joke teller. He's hilarious. I tell stories and I exaggerate, you know, but I tell life stories. I tell stories about my family. Dude, I'm going on my 7th kid right now. Yes, my wife has 2, I have 4, and we're having 1 together. So that'd be 7 kids. So I tell jokes about new marriage. You know, I talk about my kids, man. I'll tell you one of my favorite jokes, and I'll keep it clean. And it's not a joke, it's a true story. My son's 10 years old. He's a wrestler. He likes to do everything I do. So I introduced my son to the fart game when he was like 3 years old. He was like he was like butt height. So I like walked up to him, was like, burn, you know what I mean? He's like looking at me like, what was that? I was like, that's the fart game, son. You know what I'm saying? So he comes up to me in Walmart, farts on my leg, right? I mean, he gets me. He blows my leg out. So I'm like, okay. So I get him back. I'm like, boom. As soon as I do, man, I straight crap my pants. Like, yo, I tell this joke all the time, and it's a true story. I don't exaggerate on this story. We were in Walmart, and we're in the produce aisle. We're in Walmart in the produce aisle, and I farted on him, and I pooped my pants. I mean, I don't know what I ate. I mean, it's poop down my leg, Frank. It's boo-boo down my leg. So I'm duck walking to the bathroom. My son's like, what's wrong, Dad? I'm like, oh, my leg, I got a cramp. Yo, I literally took a shower in the Walmart bathroom sink. Like, I mean, I took paper towels. I wiped my butt. I wiped my leg. I took my underwear, put them in the trash. I love telling that story on stage. So that's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, that's one of your favorite things to do is take a shower in a Walmart bathroom?
Oh, God, no. Hey, at least I was prepared. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, hey, man, good for you. Well, I'm glad you're back, man. I'm glad things are going well. I'm glad you got through that dark time in your life and things kind of came out. This fight's going to be good. Like you said, Aaron hasn't fought in 3 years either. It's going to be, I thought for sure it was at 170. I would rather have it be at 170 because then it.
Me too, man.
You know,
I was very disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sad for that because that would have been good. But, man, I hope you got a lot of years left in you fighting-wise because your fighting style is amazing. I love watching you fight. I can't wait for you to come back.
You know what? A lot of people, you know, and when I was in the UFC, you know, people I don't want to use the word underestimate. People assume that I'm a lay and pray person. Never. Even when I got cut, if you look at my stats, I didn't have a lot of takedowns. I took David Branch down only to offset my stand-up. I knocked everybody out on my feet. I didn't lay on anybody. I took them down just to kind of set up my, you know that takedowns help open up your striking. But I was never a lay and pray fighter, or you know, I wasn't gonna go in there guns blazing. I don't have the fame for that. Guys like me, we don't. And as you can see, I lost one fight and got cut. We have to fight safe. And I'll tell you this is the one thing I want in MMA, and this isn't against any organization. I feel that if you sign a 6-fight contract, you should get 6 fights. You can get your ass kicked 6 times in a row, because to me, it's like the NFL and the NBA. You see teams like one year, look at Cleveland. One year they suck, next year they do great. You know, Golden State, they got blew out by 40 points their first game. You don't cut the whole damn team and bring a new one in. Like, I think MMA guys, we have to be fearless, and we can't be fearless until we have contracts that we can trust. And it's scary, man. It's scary. Even now, to this day, no matter what organization I sign with, I'm going to be like, look, you give me a 4-fight deal, I want all 4 fights. I'll go out there and bang out, but I'm not if I think I'm going to lose my job every time.
So what's your deal with Legacy? Do you have a multi-fight contract with them?
No, I mean, I'm fight to fight with everybody. You know, I manage myself. A lot of people don't know that. I've been through plenty of managers I've been stolen from. You know, my best manager, he got a job. He works like 14, 16-hour shifts. I took over. I know enough now. Nobody's ever negotiated better than me for myself. Nobody ever. I've gotten twice as much as any manager has ever tried to get from me because nobody cares about me more than me, you know. And like I said, 7 kids in a hole, man. I ain't got time to be pinching pennies. So Legacy took darn good care of me, man, with ticket sales, with purse, sponsorships. I got 16 sponsors, man, 16 sponsors for this fight. Yeah, hold on real quick. I gotta get my shorts, man. Get my shorts. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this. 16 sponsors. This is my fight shorts, including Dethrone. Every one of these, you know, paid sponsors. And dude, they paid me in advance. Like all these people, 16 sponsors, man. All myself. I do everything on my own, and my wife does all my meals. She does my meal plan and my nutrition. I just took over my career, Frank. I think I got some time in this sport, and I mean, I'm just glad we're doing this interview because I think I have some great news by this time next year.
Man, it'd be awesome because I'm looking at your record. You lost that one fight to Falco in November of 2010 to UFC, and they immediately cut you after that.
Man, you know what? This is the one thing I was pissed off about that. First of all, he failed a drug test. A lot of people don't know that. I never said that publicly, but I just got tired of holding it in. He didn't pass a drug test, but the state of Michigan the commission doesn't do drug tests. So it was a private drug test. He failed. I've never failed a drug test. I've never done any type of steroid. I don't even like supplements. Anyway, no excuse, but it doesn't help for someone that tough to have a little sauce in the system.
Well, but and now you're looking at, that was 2010. Now in 2016, coming up on 2017, hell, half the guys can't even take, like Tim Means got caught for something that was in his supplement that he had no control over.
And Tim Means for sure is not I know, look at his body. He don't need it. He's just a hard working, he's like a Forrest Griffin type. That's the last thing he needs is some damn steroids. So guys like that, I definitely believe, he had no idea. I could see a guy like Tim Means, who I've watched because he's a tough dude. I can see a guy like Tim Means needing like a meal replacement or a before or post meal workout, but I don't see the guy taking steroids, man.
No, not at all. So now you're in that same situation. You lose to Miguel, and then 3 days later, they're like, oh, he failed the drug test. It becomes a no contest, and you're still in the UFC.
I didn't get a no contest. I didn't get a no contest because it wasn't through the commission. It was a private drug test. So, yeah, it sucks. But you know what, man? I'll tell you, I always say it's cliche. Everything happens for a reason. But everything did happen. I started going through the divorce. I got better as a fighter. People don't understand my career went fast, Frank. I fought for 1 year before I got on Ultimate Fighter. 1 year. I started fighting in 2006. I got picked for the Ultimate Fighter in December of 2007. 1 year fighting, I was on the show. I didn't know how to fight. Yeah, all I do is shoot double legs and ground and pound. I wasn't ready. And in 2010, I was a pretty good fighter, but man, I'm you know how it is being older. You're a lot smarter. I feel like I'm a way better fighter now. So everything did happen for a reason. I got through my divorce without being in the UFC, which would have been a lot harder making all that money. I got my new wife, and I didn't even finish my story earlier. The gym, I started the gym back up. My gym's great. I went from 900 square feet to we're going to 8,000 square feet now. New wife, baby on the way. You name it. I'm teaching high school again. Everything is just, I can't complain. I teach government. It's Broken Arrow Freshman Academy. So, but the kids don't even know I fight though. That's the funny thing. They don't know I fight. Like three of them know, huh? Well, like three kids know. I'll be like, shh, don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I told them it's my twin brother. I'm Daryl, and my twin brother's Gerald. They believe me. Until they see this interview. Yeah. It's gonna be all over the news and everything. But I do, you know what? I tell people I've never been a fighter. The first time I had to fight, they had to make me punch the guy. Well, he actually kicked me in the leg and I got mad. But fighting to me, fighting is competition. I'm not a tough dude. When I'm out, I've had people bump into me. I've had people call me names. I go, hey, I don't want to fight. Until you put your hands on me and I feel like I'm in danger or my family's in danger, I don't like to fight. I see fighting as competition, man. And I'm good at it.
It's not a street fight. We're not in the military. We're out there trying to, this is a competition. It's a sport. So when you're not in the cage and not training, then you stop hitting people. It's very simple.
I've seen guys that can't turn that switch off. I'm a comic. I don't try to be funny. I say stuff that's funny because I don't really have a filter. But if I walk around all the time telling jokes, people be like, dude, come on. Like, you're off the stage. And I think fighters should be able to do that too. I don't wear the tight shirts. I look like a normal dude. I wear my glasses. I took them off for the interview. This is me. This is the most unintimidating look right here. Like, you got to fight that guy. I'm like.
Now it's suspenders, and you'd be Urkel.
Oh, I'll be done. I got some big traps, though, so the suspenders are like, ah.
All right, Gerald, man. Formerly Daryl. Appreciate you coming on, man. I'm glad you're back, man. I'm super glad you're back, and I can't wait. Next time I'm coming out to Tulsa, I'm letting you know.
Man, let me know. Hey, when I get off the phone, I'm gonna text you a video. I do roast videos where I make fun of friends, and I give them free tickets to my comedy show. I'm gonna send you a video, and you'll see a little bit of my comedy. But I want to thank you, Frank. I'm not kissing butt right now. I promise. You're one of the guys that I watched back in the day, and I just love your drive. I loved your hard work. I loved your attitude. From the interviews to the fight, everything you said, you did, you tried. Man, I'm telling you right now, I appreciate what you're doing, what you did for the sport, and the fact that you're continuing to do so. So, man, thank you for real.
Thank you. Thanks for being a fan. I appreciate that because now I'm a fan of yours, so it makes it easy.
All right, man. You follow me on Twitter?
I'm about to in about 10 minutes. As soon as I get done with this and get it loaded up, I'm gonna go ahead and start following you.
All right, cool. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, man. Fight day's Friday, and let's talk after. I'm gonna send you that text in a little bit. Check that video out. I promise you'll laugh, man.
I love it. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.